Welcome to this week's Behind the Poem. I am once again reeling in grief and horror at the ongoing atrocities and mass massacres happening worldwide. I am thinking especially about the murder of Sonya Massey in Illinois on July 6th. She called 911 for help and ended up being murdered by the cops in her own home. And so today, instead of sharing a poem, I'm going to share a prayer. This is the Shema. The Shema is a central prayer in Judaism. It shows up in almost all of our prayer services and worship services. I personally recite it multiple times a day, in the morning, twice in the evening. If I'm in a scary situation or I'm worried or I'm overwhelmed, I often recite the Shema on loop. For me, it is not just a central prayer because of my tradition. It is a framing and a worldview for how I view life. So I'm going to share the Shema with you in Hebrew. I'm going to then walk you through the typical way it is translated in English, and then I will share the way I translate it myself. Shema, Yisrael, Adonai, Eloheinu, Adonai, Echad. It is typically translated in English as such. Hear, O Israel, the Lord is our God, the Lord is one. Now, I want to make a clear distinction here. Yisrael is not referring to the nation state of Israel. Yisrael is referring to the people of Israel. And again, not the nation state of Israel, of Yisrael, Jacob, Yaakov. Who is Yaakov? Yaakov was the third patriarch in the Torah. And there is a portion of the Torah, a story that talks about Jacob traveling and being on the side of the road and sleeping and ending up wrestling with angels that have been sent by God, wrestling with God. So Jacob is given the name Yisrael, one who wrestles with God. So what does it mean? We are the people of Yaakov, Yisrael. We are the people who wrestle with God. And for me, God is a metaphor for unconditional love. For me, I use the word God, but what I mean when I say God is collective divine consciousness. Everything is Hashem, the name. Everything. So here's how I translate this prayer. Shema, Yisrael, Adonai, Eloheinu, Adonai, Echad. How do I translate it? For those who wrestle with oneness, the universe is interconnected. The universe is interconnected as one. This for becomes the Shema. Shema means listen, hear, pay attention. And there's something a little too demanding about that for me. And since I'm all about consent, the sort of for feels a little softer, a little more inviting. So I say for Yisrael, those who wrestle with oneness, the universe. Yud-Hey Vav-Hey is a kind of stand-in for the name of God. Hashem means the name. Technically, it's we don't even say God's name. As you probably saw on the other sheet, I did a G/D and an L/RD to not even write the name of divine consciousness. It's so big. So it can't even be contained in language, right? So I say the universe here. Yud-Hey Vav-Hey, to me here, I make it the universe so that it's all-encompassing for all of us, is interconnected. So this is, our God, interconnected. I mean, to me, if God is everything, then it's interconnected. And when it's ours, we are interconnected together, right? The universe, so back to Yud-Hey Vav-Hey, is interconnected as one. So it's like a callback to the interconnected. There's a mirror here. And then Echad means one. Echad means one. To me, this is a framing for life and the world. I cannot believe we are murdering each other and massacring each other. Sonya Massey should be alive. The 40,000 Palestinians whose lives we are able to count should be alive. I don't even want to know how many. We don't know. The hostages that have still not been brought home, they should be home. The 1,200 Israelis who were killed on October 7th should be alive. And we don't even talk about what's happening in Sudan and Congo and Haiti and the devastating famine in Ethiopia. To me, what is happening is that we are so disconnected. We are so fractured. We no longer acknowledge that we are all interconnected as one. Solidarity is the antidote to oppression, not isolation. There is people power all over this world that have been doing this work for. There are people that have been doing the work of power with and power within. To quote my friend Yehudah Webster, and I know he takes those teachings from so many other people instead of power over. The universe is interconnected. The universe is interconnected as one. For those who wrestle with oneness, we are all wrestling with oneness. May we remember. May we, Shema, pay attention. May we, when we wrestle with oneness, remember that we are all interconnected. Our liberation is bound up in one another. Our healing is bound up in one another. Our safety is bound up in one another. If one person isn't safe, we are none of us safe. That's all I got. Shabbat shalom. Take care.